Hey guys. I hope everyone is doing well day or night whenever you tune in and see this. So this is going to be a general reading for air sign Gemini. I'm just trying to more of the table in view there. So this reading may resonate for you even if you are not a sun sign Gemini or rising sign Gemini or even a moon in Gemini. All right, since we all have all 12 zodiac signs throughout each of our individual birth charts. So yeah, this is going to be a general reading too. So you can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, money, etc. Okay, so always take it how it resonates for you. Another reason why it's good to find out what your other placements know is because depending on what's currently going on in your life, you may resonate more with your moon sign or your sun sign, or your rising sign. So always feel free to check out the other videos here on my channel as well. So sometimes they may resonate more than one other one. All right. And yeah, I pulled all of your cards here, Gemini, so we'll get into it in just a moment. And what else was I going to mention? Oh, I'm going to set my timer. That's just kind of a general timer there. So yes, this reading is also timeless since we're talking about the timer. Since time is fluid and relative, so that means for some people this reading may resonate as an example, let's say 6 months in the past or 6 months in the future, years in the past, a year in the future, years in the future, days, weeks, months, minutes, hours, seconds, etc. All right, so again, just take it how it resonates for you. And yeah, we're going to get into your reading here. I want to do a quick little sound bell for some general grounding and healing for the reading for you guys and also for myself. So just be aware, it does get a little bit loud at times if you're sensitive to that. All right, so if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever, or you can just listen as well. Okay, all right. All right, Gemini. Let's get into your reading. Now, since this is for the original time frame from January 16th to February 16th, the reading may be definitely a little bit longer since we're covering like a 5.5 week period. Versus what I've usually been doing is like a 2 week period. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. And yeah, we are going to start in the center with your main 9 cards, and then we'll work outwards to your tarot confirmation cards that I use another deck for. And then we're also going to talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each deck as well to get even more insight. And then at the very end, we have some oracle cards as well. Okay. Also, if you find that this reading to get into it is not resonating for you, it could be about the person you're dealing with or multiple people you're dealing with or your general environment situation, or it's just not your reading, and check out your other placements then. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and call out the cards in order, and then we'll go from there. I think I forgot to mention in the Taurus reading in the beginning was if you are new, right, welcome. Even if you're not new and you're coming back, welcome back. I do take one photo of all the cards at the end of the live, and I post it on my Facebook page So if that's something that you want to see more up close and detail, the cards, all you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the instructions there if you want to see the cards. All right, so we have the 8 of Staves in the right side up position, also known as 8 of Wands. We have the 4 of Swords in the right side up position, the 4 of Cups in the right side up position, the 8 of Sacred Circles, also known as 8 of Pentacles in the right side up position, the 3 of Swords right side up, the Fool in reverse, the High Priestess right side up, the Judgment right side up, and the Queen of Cups right side up. So I just realized you have 2 4 cards and 2 8 cards. So that is interesting. Those particular numbers 4 and 8 could be of some significance for you. Or, if you want to, look more into it, you can look up the numerology of like what number 4 and 8 mean. What else was I going to tell you? I'm just looking real quickly here. So yeah, if you do even, briefly talking about the numbers, so 4 and 4 and 8 and 8, right, would be 24. So that could also be a particular number as well. Or maybe it means nothing, but just wanted to mention it. Now, I did all of your major arcana cards before the reading, and it looks like this time, Gemini, you have the majority of wands and wands cards for your major arcana. So what does that mean? It could mean an underlying theme for your reading, right? So wands are similar to swords in the way that they can both be a tool or a weapon. So wands talk about our defenses, our defense mechanisms, but also you can use the wands to build a house or a shed or whatever, right? So there could be something underlying this reading, this general reading, right? Talking about our defenses. Are they strong enough? Are they too high? Are they blocking my abundance? That kind of thing. So, but before we get into each individual card, I also want to real quickly talk about the other zodiac signs that I do see here in your reading, if that's something that you're looking for. Okay, because you do have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas, okay? So we have some Gemini energy here, we have Pisces energy, we have Scorpio energy, and we also have, well, with the Wheel of Fortune, it's multiple signs again. So it's another Scorpio energy, it's Taurus energy, it's Aquarius energy, and it's Leo energy, okay? So what does that mean? If I mention one of these signs, it could be that you're dealing with one of these signs, or you have a lot of those sign placements in your own birth chart predominantly, or the other person has a lot of those signs in their birth chart predominantly, or vice versa, or whatever, or multiple people that you're dealing with, or it could just mean nothing at all. But I wanted to mention it. Let me turn that down real quickly before we get into your reading. All right, so let's go forward. So when we start off your reading here, oh yes, before we get into the individual cards too, let's talk about what the rows mean real quickly. Okay, so this time we have 9 cards in the center instead of 6, and I said we're doing a 5-week period, 5.5-week period. Okay, so this first row is energy starting around January 17th, okay, going through the January 31st. Okay, the second row is starting around February 1st to February 9th or so. Again, it's not exact. And then the last row will be from February 9th to about February 17th or so. All right, so going backward a little bit in time, right, since today is the January 30th, I believe, right? Yes, I'm like looking at my computer to make sure it's the 30th. So we're going to go back to a little bit of last week and this weekend so far, and then even into tomorrow possibly, right? Okay, so we start off your reading here with the 8 of Staves in the right side up position. Now, this is about our instincts. Okay, this is about also a communication, a fast type of communication coming in. It could be a good communication or a bad communication, but it's coming in really fast, and it could be shocking or surprising in some way. So if you see in this card that there are 8 wands or staves flying through the air and kind of startling these birds. So that's when we talk about our instincts. That's when we talk about the surprising, shocking kind of factor here. Okay, so I don't see it as a good or bad card, but it is a very fast moving go-go type of energy. Now, this could have started for you, like I said previously, it could have been energy from the recent past. It could be, for some people, even like last November or December. It really just depends, okay? But you have this communication coming in and kind of like startling everyone, or kind of stirring up the energy, rustling people's feathers, that kind of thing, okay? Yeah, definitely, because they're birds, right? Rustling the feathers. Okay. Now, moving forward, though, your second card is the Four of Swords, your first 4 card, in the right side up position. So this talks about a little bit of anxiety, worry, overthinking, possibly just being too much up in your head, or the other person is too much up in their head, or multiple people, or general environment situation. Now, what is also to note in this deck, in this card, is she's trying to bury that worry, anxiety, depression, overthinking, okay, too much up in the head, anxiety. She's trying to bury it instead of maybe deal with it up front, okay, because she thinks that would be the best thing to do. Now, when it's following this 8 of Staves that we just talked about, it could be that whatever communication that came through, even if it was good, maybe brought up, or bad, right? But if it was good, possibly even brought up some new anxiety, worry, or overthinking about that communication, okay? Especially when it's following that, all right? Now, I would say that with all these new changes coming in here for you, Gemini, with this communication coming in, right, and ruffling people's feathers, or your feathers, or their feathers, or everyone's feathers, it kind of makes sense why your third card is the Four of Cups in the right side up position, because this card talks about not being, currently happy with the present circumstances or situation or challenges. Okay, so you see this guy sitting down here, and he's just focusing on the 3 cups in front of him that he doesn't like. The cups in the tarot represent our emotions, so there could be emotions there that somebody doesn't like, or you don't like, or multiple people, general environment situation, right? But what he doesn't realize is that there's a 4th cup. If he just remains patient and gives it a little bit of time, then better circumstances, better challenges, better people will come in if he just slightly changes his perspective, right? And looks up instead of just what he's currently dealing with, right? Changes his perspective, looks a different way, turns around, whatever, okay? So this is kind of saying to remain a little bit patient here, Gemini, if this past week and even part of this weekend has been a little difficult in some way. The Four of Cups shows up to just kind of remind you to be a little bit more patient and have faith that things will, get better in the short term, okay? Now, let me just turn this back up a little bit so I have a little music here for the dogs. Okay. So when we get into your 4th card here, the 8 of Sacred Circles in the right side up position, this is about possibly, for some of you guys, while you're waiting, right, to get this perspective change, or things just to bring you better options, better circumstances, better people, better challenges, whatever it is you're watching this reading for. Maybe you are in this first week of February getting into the energy of learning a new skill or a craft to keep yourself busy. You're working on something, right? So it's 8 of Sacred, and the same thing as 8 of Pentacles, right? So she's learning how, this Native American woman is learning how to make some drums, and she's made several already that are in the background, but she's busy putting in the work and the long hours to do something. And when it is following this Four of Cups, it really feels like not only could it be a distraction for you or the other person, multiple people, general environment situation, it could also be that it gets you out of that kind of stalemate energy of the Four of Cups or that blockage kind of energy, okay? Because you want to work on your abundance, right? And when we talk about pentacles and money and wealth and abundance, well, abundance isn't just money and wealth. It's whatever you want to manifest in your life, whatever your goals are, your dreams, right? And so the more that you get into that energy and around this new week in the first week of February, it seems very productive here for you. Okay. Now moving forward, there is a little bit of a blockage, right? Sometimes usually in all readings, there's at least one or two blockages, okay? So it's not the end of the world. And depending on when you watch, or even if you watch after the fact, it helps you learn a lesson or look at it in a different way or something like this, okay? So there's always ups and downs and ebb and flow of energy, positive, negative, all that good stuff. But I say that because you have as your fifth card the Three of Swords in the right side up position. So this talks about, for some, just as some examples, right? It could be heartache. It could be a betrayal, whether it's with romantic or business partnership or friends, family, etc. But it also talks about some mental confusion because, again, we have a Swords card here. And it also can be lower vibrational frequencies or even exhaustion, because sometimes when you see this card in other decks, there's actually a woman kind of crouched over like this, and there's swords in her back, and she's like this, like she's exhausted and her energy is just down, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be for everybody that there's a heartache or betrayal or mental confusion. It could just be an exhaustion type energy, okay? Especially when it's following the Eight of Sacred Circles. When I was saying you're going to be really busy or really productive, right? Maybe you bring yourself out a little bit midweek, that first week of February, and that could certainly be, okay? But it will be different for everybody. Now, going forward, I would start off by saying here, Gemini, your card in the tarot, when we talk about the major arcana, is the Lovers, right? If you're familiar with tarot, you know. But another card that also has some Gemini energy is the Fool card, okay? Doesn't mean you guys are all fools, okay? So the Fool card is actually, just like everything on all tarot cards, there's a positive and a negative, right? But when the Fool card is in the reverse position here for you, Gemini, as your sixth card, maybe towards the end of next weekend or so, excuse me, my nose is itchy. It could be maybe you're not feeling all the way in your element, which would, again, certainly make sense, right? Since it's following the Three of Swords, if you're exhausted or burned out or lower vibrational frequencies, maybe you're not feeling all the way like yourself in some way, that could certainly make sense. And then on the other side, for some of you guys, it could be that you're not ready to make a leap of faith. You're not ready to look at issues of ego and identity, right? Maybe you don't want to look foolish to yourself, to others, to one of those or both of those. You're not ready to look yourself in the mirror. You're not feeling like yourself, okay? So it's just like I said, a little challenge or blockage. It's not the end of the world, and it doesn't last for long, okay? Because then going forward, as your sixth card, here you have the lovely High Priestess. And that's a little bit of that Pisces and Scorpio energy you mentioned before when we were calling out the zodiac signs. So, and this is your first card in the third row. So this is around February 9th or so. Okay, so that second week of February and going into the third week a little bit. Because, yeah, I think, let me look it up real quick. I think February 17th is the middle of the week. Yeah. So February 9th, this last row is February 9th through the 17th. So it's like from February 9th, a Wednesday, to February 17th, a Thursday, right? So again, it's not exact, it's just kind of a guiding example. But, the high priestess is all about your intuition. Right? It's about a secret knowledge, right? The secret knowledge of self, perhaps, or maybe actual secret knowledge. It depends on everybody, okay? But this is a very creative card. It's a very feminine energy card with the moon here at the top of her veil type headdress thing, whatever you want to call it. You have the crescent moon and the full moon at the top here, okay? So it's really getting in touch with yourself. So I like to think of the high priestess as very similar to the hermit card, right? So the hermit, if you're familiar with tarot, is holding up a lantern or a torch or something. And so it's all about that inner light, the inner guidance of your intuition, your heart, all those things. So that's definitely, the energy of the high priestess. So it could be that in the middle of that second week of February, and then even the third week of February, you are now feeling more like yourself. You're using your intuition. You're feeling more creative, more abundant, and all those things. Okay, especially since it's following, remember, the Fool in reverse. So look at the transition there, just in those two cards. Now, the other thing, oh my God, it's so loud. Let me turn it down, the commercials. The other thing about the high priestess too is it could have something to do when we talk about creative energy. My hair is a hot mess, y'all, but it's okay. It comes out that way sometimes. But the creative energy, it could, because she's holding scrolls, could have something to do with writing, okay, or gaining knowledge. It doesn't even have to necessarily be secret knowledge, okay. But if you are a creative person, maybe writing would be really beneficial for you during this time period that we're talking about, if you don't already do that, okay. Now, moving forward, there looks like there is some type of judgment that's going to be taking place in that second week of February into the middle of the second week of February to the middle of the third week of February. Okay, whatever, right? It's not exact. But there's some type of judgment that happens here. And it could be about maybe you setting some boundaries of saying, it's asking yourself, do I want to resurrect something? Okay, that's what the judgment card talks about. Do I want to revisit something? Do I want to rebirth something? Do I want to rise something out of its grave and give it life again? Because the judgment card talks about, and usually the traditional tarot of the scene from the Bible when one of the angels is blowing the horns of all the dead people that have been judged as good moral people. Live again, rise again, have this new life, okay, resurrection. So it brings up those questions for you as well, as far as if it's a particular person or thing or way of life or whatever, what have you, right? Do I want to do this again? Do I want to rebirth this? Do I want to revisit this? All of those things, okay? So first, when the question comes up, now it could also be, it's not necessarily, the judgment card and the justice card are very similar. I don't always, I get more of a legal battle for some if the justice card was possibly to come out. So it could be for some of you guys a legal battle, okay, or something going on here with the judgment card, but that's just not, it's hard to say, right, since it is a general reading. But the warning signs of this card, right, in particular in this deck, I would say, is that if there is a judgment, you judge someone or someone judges you, right, and a ruling is passed, right, a judgment, a final kind of like, this is how I see it, this is how you see it, blah, 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 right? And so if the judgment doesn't go in your favor or the way that you wanted or the way that they wanted or vice versa, right? There is a little bit of this self-destructive energy, right? With the woman at the top of the card here, and she's punching the mirror image of herself. So whatever judgment may possibly be passed, or if you don't want to revisit something from the past or even ask those questions, just make sure that you are not being self-destructive to yourself, all right? So, also I want to mention that you have, what did I say? Four major arcanas. Okay, so that does talk about a significant amount of change happening here in your reading. Again, it will show up differently for everyone at different times, either before and after, right? So in the past and the future, or currently. But that is so another reason to be gentle with yourself here, Gemini, and not get into any self-destructive energies, because when you're going through a lot of changes, it's easy to get frustrated with yourself or be really hard on yourself, more so than normal possibly. So just don't be mean to yourself too much, okay? All right, that's my TED talk. No, I'm just kidding, but for real. Going forward though, let me just turn this music back up a little bit. We have your last card in the main 9 cards here in the center is the Queen of Cups in the right side up position. So this talks about, it's interesting because, well, not interesting, actually it's very complimentary, okay? When this Queen of Cups is following the Judgment card, it's like, okay, what are my emotions, right? The cups and tarot represent our emotions. What are my emotions? What are my emotional priorities? What are my emotional boundaries? What makes me emotionally content, happy, and fulfilled? And how do I go about getting those things or doing those things? Okay, so that's really what this Queen of Cups energy is like. Okay, so I feel like it's very complementary and a natural progression of that Judgment card here. So I look at it as a good thing, right? It's always good to ask yourself, even if things are going well, to check in and just think of things a little bit differently. Okay, now I want to go back a little bit because I got excited, excuse me, and I forgot to talk about what was on the top and the bottom of your deck here in relation to that Judgment card too, and it relates to also the Queen of Cups as well. Let me get a sip of water, guys. I'm losing my voice. Hold on a second. Okay, so when we talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each deck, it is energy from the way, way, way back past. So when we were talking about in the beginning of the reading, or throughout the whole reading so far, I was saying that there could be energy from the recent past. What is recent to you? It would be different for everybody. A couple of days ago, weeks, months, years, minutes, hours, seconds, right? But then when we talk about what's on the top and the bottom, it's way past that, okay? Further back in the past, all right? But what we have here, and this is one of your repeating cards that we'll also get into later, you have the Five of Staves in the right side up position, also known as the Five of Wands right side up. And then on the bottom, you have the King of Cups in the right side up position, okay? So this is basically, and let me pull up the Judgment card too here, hold on, because that's where Spirit wanted me to talk to you about it, starting with this Judgment card. The Five of Staves or Five of Wands, right, is this energy of relying on a support system, whatever that means for you, friends, family, mental health care worker, etc., right, all those things. And also whatever your support system may be in the way back past, wanted you to take life not so seriously, and they wanted you to practice and plan and strategize and look at something in a different perspective or point of view, right, to give you different options for the future. So that's why you see these 4 Egyptian men that look like architects with the pyramids in the background, and well, it's not the actual pyramid, but whatever, Egyptian buildings in the background, right? And so, that's a very positive card when it's in the right side up position. Now, when we put it together with the King of Cups, right, it's like maybe in the further back, way back past, whatever that means for you, you are more in control of your emotions, and you knew possibly where you stood with your emotional boundaries, priorities, what makes you happy, all of those things. Okay, but also doubly is the supportive energy, right? Because this king here is sitting or leaning back on his throne. So that's another image of support being all around. He also has a notebook. That's the second kind of notebook scroll image in your reading. So again, writing could have been really important for you even in the past for some of you guys, okay? But when we put these two together with the judgment card, it's like if you do not like this judgment or you don't like these questions that it comes up with a ruling or the final thing that you say, the other person says, or multiple people say, or general environment situation, don't get in that self-destructive energy because you do have support systems. You had it in the past and you will have it again here in the future. Now, interestingly, when we also talk about these two cards from the way back past, in relation to your ninth card, right? What do you have there? The King and the Queen of Cups, right? So this says to me that in the past, maybe you had a piece of something here, a piece of some type of emotion. It could be about so many different things, but maybe now in the more future current energies with the Queen of Cups, it's like those two energies are coming together and they're becoming more whole, or something is becoming more whole with the emotions. Then you have the masculine and feminine energies, right? And they're both the same kind of major arcana cards. They're both cups cards, okay? So that is interesting. I haven't seen that in a while in a reading. So that could be, a particular note. All right. So I want to go back a little bit too before we get into your confirmation cards, because I have these new deck that I'm working with, and either that or I just get excited about your reading. Or both of those things. I want to talk about what's on the top and the bottom of your other deck in relation to going back to your first row here, your third card, the Four of Cups, right? That energy. Again, you actually only have 3 cups. Yes, you have 3 cups in this reading. So remember I said the majority of the minor arcana that's in this reading is wands. So you have 5 wands cards, you have 3 cups, and I think you had 3 swords. Yep, I think so. So when we talked about before, the Four of Cups being here, it's this energy of not being currently happy with circumstances, with challenges, with whatever currently energy you find yourself in that first week. In the first row from January 17th to about the 31st, so like the end of January, right? And what was needed possibly was more patience and a perspective change. When you put it together with what was on the top and the bottom of the other deck, again, energy from the way back past, what we have is, excuse me, the 7 of Pentacles in the right side up position, and the King of Swords in the reverse position here, okay? So this is basically, it feels weird when we do it like that. So this is basically saying that in the way back past, right, somebody's work ethic maybe was called into question, right, with the 7 of Pentacles, because he's evaluating his work. He's like, okay, I've done this amount, and there's still another amount I still need to do. But if it wasn't you yourself evaluating your own work ethic here, Gemini, maybe a boss or a higher person, position of authority in the workplace was evaluating your work ethic here, or something like that, okay? Or just not looking at things clearly in your work ethic, whether it was you yourself or another person. And I say that because, right, it's coupled with the King of Swords in reverse. And so, sorry, let me turn that down. The King of Swords in reverse, right, is the mental confusion, anxiety, worry, overthinking. Because if it was right side up, it would be that he's using his intellect to his advantage, right? He's, what is the way to say it? He's using his intellect to see things from a higher perspective as well, and put all the pieces together in the puzzle, because there's all these birds in the background, right? At the very top of that card, if you can see it. If it was right side up, but it's reversed. So it's like possibly the reason why we had this just really like, look at this guy's posture in his face, right? He's just like blah, like I don't like this. Okay, I'm not feeling it. I don't care, right? And that could be because of this, right? So somebody's work ethic was called into question. If it wasn't about work, it could be how much work you're putting into a relationship, into a project, into your life, into whatever, right? Doesn't When I say work ethic, it doesn't necessarily have to be about a job or what you do for a living. It could be how much effort you're putting into something. Is it enough? Is it not enough? And is the other person seeing me clearly for how much effort or work I'm putting in or not putting in? Am I seeing myself clearly? All those things, okay? So I just wanted to briefly go back over that. Now we can go forward and talk about your confirmation cards. And I'm going to scoot back a little bit because I do that throughout the reading because I want to show you the cards closer up, but then it feels weird because I want to look at all the cards, in total together. Okay, so I'll go ahead and call them out, and then we'll go in order here. So your first confirmation card is the Knight of Wands in the right side up position. The Five of Wands, that's your repeating card. We'll talk about it again with the other one later, in the right side up position. Then you also have the Wheel of Fortune in the right side up position. Excuse me, gosh. And then you also have the King of Wands in the reverse position. Now, these first two confirmation cards, I usually read them as energy from the recent past. And then the last two confirmation cards are more future current energies, okay? So sorry, guys, my allergies. Hold on. We got a lot of snow here on the East Coast, where I'm at the last 2 days, and it was really windy. It was like wind gusts of like 40 to 50 miles per hour. And even though it was only snow, I'm sure it was other dirt and stuff outside, so then my allergies seem to get triggered. Okay. Anyway, so when we talk about your first tarot confirmation card, this Knight of Wands in the right side up position, Knights talk about a potential communication, okay? And again, real quickly, going to your first card in the reading, the Eight of Staves in the right side up position, or Eight of Wands in the right side up position, was talking about that surprising, dramatic, shocking communication, whether it was good or bad, coming in and ruffling up people's feathers, right? So it's kind of echoing that, but we'll get into it a little bit. But it's a medium-sized communication because it's a knight. It goes usually page, knight, king, right? So it's, as an example, would be a small communication, let's say, would be a text or an email. Maybe a medium-sized communication would be an actual voicemail or calling you on the phone, and maybe a large communication would be seeing you in person, just as an example, right? But when we talk about communications too, with any of these page, kings cards and knight cards, it could be a good communication. It could be a bad communication. It also could be, if it's not a communication that you gave to someone or someone gave to you, it could also be communication from your spirit guides, from your guardian angels, your ancestors, whatever you call it, right? Just signs from the universe, okay? But it is also, it has this very abundant, fiery energy. You actually see in this deck, I just noticed it, there's a giant volcano in the background, right? So definitely a lot of fiery energy here. Okay, so it could have, communication could have something to do with the fire sign. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, right? It doesn't have to be, but just wanted to mention that. Now, when this that's not 8. When this Knight of Wands is coming in here and confirming the 8 of Wands, or 8 of Staves right side up, and the Eight of Sacred Circles or Eight of Pentacles right side up, and also the High Priestess right side up, okay? Like I was saying before, it's definitely confirming that there was some type of communication from somebody or something or some energy, okay, from the recent past. For sure, that definitely happened, okay? And when we said it's surprising or shocking, that goes with that fiery energy of the volcano in the back of the card too. So again, could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now, when this, oh my gosh, guys, sorry. when this when this Knight of Wands is coming in here and confirming the Eight of Sacred Circles, it's basically saying that this communication, whoever it was from, or this more abundant for momentum energy, because that's also what this card represents, right? Gets you into that more productive energy, or gets the other person or multiple people, general environment situation, in a more productive energy of, okay, I'm a knight, I'm still learning something, I'm not a king yet. And then this one's saying, yes, I want to learn a new skill, a new craft, a new trade. I want to do that. Okay, so that's kind of confirming that energy doubly there for you. Now, when the page, why am I keep doing that? It's not a page, it's a knight. When the Knight of Wands is confirming the High Priestess, it's like, okay, if you take that light within you, right? We were talking about with the Hermit card earlier, and the High Priestess being very similar. Your fiery light within, your intuition within your heart, right? You take that energy and also use the signs, use your intuition, right? So you can't recognize signs from the universe, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your ancestors, or even any type of sign if you're not using your own inner guidance system, right? So that's just confirming it there for you too. Like, okay, let me focus on the light within me. And also, if I am communicating with somebody else or even with myself, let me do it in a gentle way. So maybe it's not as explosive, right? So again, not as maybe surprising or shocking or ruffling people's feathers, okay? So that is something to think about as well. All right, now let me just put these back here, and then we'll get into your second confirmation card. Here is your repeating card, and I'll just put these two together for a moment. It's the Five of Wands in the right side up position. And again, this tarot confirmation card is energy from the recent past. So just to show you how the two different artists depict kind of the same energy here, they're both right side up. Okay, so, and this is from the way, way back past, and this is from the recent past. So there could be some reoccurring themes here with your support system, with your taking life too seriously. When you first look at the traditional Five of Wands, the way it's shown, it looks like all these guys are fighting, right? And it's like, oh no, they're fighting. Get your defenses up, get your wands up, block, right? But it's actually, he's playing and practicing with his friends. So it's like, don't assume that something is really serious when underneath that, there could be some actually really positive stuff going on, right? Talking about the Five of Wands or Five of Staves is leaning on your support system, playing and practicing and planning for the future and different scenarios, different options for yourself, and not taking life so seriously in certain ways, right? Now, when this Five of Wands, in the right side up position comes in here and it's confirming the Four of Swords right side up, the Three of Swords right side up. Look at that progression. Not the best, but that it's there. And then also the Judgment card. The Judgment card in the right side up position here. Okay, so it's like, don't bury your anxiety, worry, overthinking, depression, whatever it is. Rely on your support system, right? Same thing over here with the Three of Swords. don't have or stay in the energy of a betrayal, hurt, a heartache, mental confusion, or being exhausted or burnt out or low vibrational frequencies. Rely on your support system. Don't take it so seriously, okay? Call your friends, call your family, mental health care worker, whatever, lover, wife, husband, all the things, right? Support from all the people and all the things. Now, when we talk about this Five of Wands also coming in here with the Judgment card, we kind of talked about it before with, hold on, let me put these back. When we talked about it with the way back past energy and the future current energy, or no, my bad, that's not right. With the way back past energy with this Five of Wands or Five of Staves, and then the one in the center here, your confirmation card, that is recent past energy, okay, along with the Judgment, right? So kind of saying the same thing. If you don't like the Judgment or you don't want to revisit, restart, rebirth something, don't go into self-destructive energy. Rely on your support systems. If it's a judgment being passed on you or you passing a judgment on something or someone else, again, if it doesn't go in your favor or their favor or everyone's favor, or the general environment situation's favor, rely on your support system. Don't take it so seriously. Excuse me, one second. And that is way too loud. Okay. Okay. Now, let me just put these back and then we'll go forward. So, your third confirmation card is the wonderful Wheel of Fortune in the right side up position. And in this position here, this is more future current energies, okay? So the Wheel of Fortune is in the right side up position. This is how you want to see this card, right? It's being like luck is on your side. Time is in your favor. It's the turning of the wheel, the passing of the seasons, right? The Wheel of Fortune, right? There's like, you could win $20 or you could win $300. You could win this or that, right? It's all turning. So it just depends on when you catch it, right? On that turn, okay? But when it's in the positive right side up position here, it's saying it is your time, right? You even have the hell do you call that? The the sand glass timer from way back in the day before you had like this kind of timer, right? So a record keeping, right? So it's almost like the universe or your spirit guides, guardian angels, higher power, whatever you want to call it, is saying it's your time, right? We looked at the records and we know what was in the past and we know kind of what's coming up, and that this moment at this time is your time, okay? So this could be, since it's in the future current positions, energy that you're going to step into more in the middle of February perhaps, or even further past that, so the whole month of February or even in March, right? It'll be different for everybody. But when this Wheel of Fortune comes in here and it's confirming the Four of Cups, right side up, the Fool in reverse, and the Queen of Cups in the right side up position. Remember how I said be patient, right? With the Four of Cups energy, change your perspective, hold on, give it some time. Well, time came in here and was like, yes, it wasn't your time maybe in some way before in the recent past energies, but in the more future current energies, it will be your time. You will have perspective change. It will be their time. They will have a perspective change. However, it resonates for you, okay? Now, also, when this Wheel of Fortune is coming in here and confirming the Fool in reverse, it's like, okay, maybe you weren't ready in the past, again, to make some type of leap of faith or look at ego and identity issues. Look yourself in the mirror. Remember, with the Fool, since it does represent some Gemini energy, it could be that in that first week of February, because you possibly had some type of burnout and you were really productive, right? That you're not feeling all the way yourself in some way. Well, this is kind of reassuring you that you will start to feel like yourself more again in the future. And if you want to work with any of those issues, identity and ego issues, or make some type of leap of faith in the future, that, it will happen, okay? Now, when we talk about the Wheel of Fortune with the Queen of Cups in the right side up position, it's like, yes, the time is now to figure out what your emotions are, your emotional priorities, your emotional boundaries, your emotional contentment, fulfillment, what makes you happy, all those things. The time is now and the timer. The timer confirmed the timer. Okay. So now moving forward, your last confirmation card is the King of Wands in reverse. Now, it's interesting because you had another king in reverse, right? From the way back past, you had another king again in reverse. So I look at it more as some stagnant energy or a challenge or a reminder, right? To maybe not let kind of that stagnant energy come back, okay? But let me show you the card, right? So, this also could be that in the future, if you're not able to, again, rely on your support system, then you're not going to be supported. When he's right side up, he's leaning against his throne. But when he's reversed, he's unstable and he's not grounded and he's not using his support system. The other thing I would say about, the King of Wands is that when it's in the reverse position, it can talk about a little bit of this energy of not being able to adapt to your situations. Because in other decks, I don't see it here in this one, but there's usually, yeah, I don't see it, a little type of, oh, wait, it is here. A chameleon or a lizard, right? Usually it's by his feet. So at first I didn't see it, but it's over his head, carved into his throne. So when it's right side up, it's like being adaptive to your surroundings, right? So if a lizard or chameleon changes their color, right, so the predators don't find them. When it's in reverse, it's like maybe giving you a warning or reminder to make sure you are adaptive to your environment, because that makes you more abundant, that makes you more supported by others and feel supported by others, and all of those things. Now, since this is your fourth tarot confirmation card, and we're doing a little bit of a longer reading this time, it's confirming the same row that we just confirmed before, but in a different way, right? So it's coming in and confirming the Four of Cups in the right side up position, and the Fool in the reverse position, and the Queen of Cups in the right side up position. Did I say that twice? No, because it's all these cups. Yeah, cups, cups, cups. All right. So this is basically saying here, Gemini, that, if you are feeling lackluster in that last 2 weeks of January, or even the first week of February, or you're not feeling enthusiastic about your current circumstances or situations or even challenges, you're not being challenged enough, right? It's telling you to take on the energy of the King of Wands if he was right side up. So seeing something from a perspective of the chameleon, right? And also, having kind of this fierce energy. There's also a little lion in there too. So I think it's a lion, yeah. So having the energy of the lion, right? So having the courage, having the power and the passion and all those things, and the reason. Okay, let me slow down. How if you're lackluster, right, with the Four of Cups, and you want to get the passion back or the creativity back or the energy of the lion, again, take on the energy of the chameleon, adapt to your surroundings, to your environment. And maybe, just, I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. Well, right, when we think of lizards, or when I think of lizards, there's certain lizards, right, that if they lose their tail, it goes back, right? So that it's resiliency energy as well. When you think about the chameleon or lizards in general, because I don't know if the actual chameleon regrows their tail. So it could also be an issue of resiliency. So a lot of times, like for instance, when I think of resiliency, I think of the Ace of Cups in the tarot. If you're familiar, it's a huge cup coming in from the hand from the divine, bringing in the cup, And then underneath it is this pond with all these lily pads. The lily pad is a symbol of resiliency because it's a plant that grows in the water, not the earth. So it's like, oh, I'm stuck in the water. I'm just going to die and not grow. No, that plant says, oh my God, I'm going to still grow here. I'm going to figure out. So it's like evolution. Shh. Really, guys? It's like evolution coming in and that resilient energy coming in. Okay. Now, when we put this together with the King of Wands in reverse, with the Fool in reverse. Yes, Nefertiti, you want to say hi? Now, you thought there were real lizards in here. She said you mentioned lizards. Hold on, you guys. I gotta see this cat real quick. Get your ass over here. Get your ass over here. Can you see this black kitty here? Look at this kitty cat. She wants the lizards. She wants the lizards. All right, get out of here. I'll feed you in a little bit. Sorry, guys. So, back to the King of Wands in reverse and the Fool in reverse. Maybe like we were saying before, you weren't ready or feeling all the way yourself, Gemini, to make some type of leap of faith or trust in something or deal with issues of ego and identity because, again, you weren't having that passion and you weren't being able to adapt as much, okay? So that's really how I see that. Now, let's see where else. There was one more card. Yes, the Queen of Cups. So when we put this together with the Queen of Cups, this is really, talking about if I figure out my emotions, what makes me emotionally happy, fulfilled, content, right, and supported, then I will be able to, again, bring back the passion, the creativity, the adaptability, all of those things, okay? So that's how I see that. So those are your messages as far as the tarot, but real quickly before you go, because I know we're almost at the hour point. What are we at, 56 minutes? Yeah. Let's talk about your oracle cards real quickly before you go. They're usually a little bit more lighter energy to the cards, okay? So your love oracle message, whether you're watching for romantic love or platonic love with friends or family or self-love or all of the above, especially since this time period for this reading does cover Valentine's Day if you celebrate, right? But I usually always do love oracle cards. But your message for this time anyway, Gemini, is calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. All right, so how nice is that? So obviously this can be calling in your soulmate, either, romantic soulmate. Even if you already are with someone, you could be calling them in on a deeper level. Or if you're single, calling in a new person, right? If we're talking about platonic love with friends or family, calling in your soulmate family, your soul tribe, all of those things as well. And if we're talking about self-love, calling in and realizing that you are your own soulmate and you can't have any love unless you love yourself first, right? So your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help you bring all of that soulmate love energy out more, all right? Okay, and your second oracle card, this is from the Rumi or Remy, depending on how you pronounce it, oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. So if you're not familiar, Rumi or Remy, depending on how you pronounce it again, is a 13th century poet. He's one of my favorite poets. And so your Rumi oracle card for this time period, even beyond, Gemini, you got card number 8, and it says Cosmic Heart. And I think most of the visuals on all these decks, or for this deck anyway, is more abstract, but really pretty colors. Okay, so go ahead and read just a little bit here. So it says Cosmic Heart. I was dead, I became alive. I was tears, I became laughter. The power of love arrived and made me everlasting power. I've seen everything. I have no fear. I have the heart of a lion. Oh my God, when we were just talking about lions, that's so funny. I shine like Venus. Okay, and then that's a little bit of this poem from Rumi. So I will read a little bit more of the poem here. Guys, no. Can you chill out just for like 5 more minutes, please? Sorry. All right, so it says, I hear and weep in sublime reverence. I bow to this living, beating, loving heart, all of creation. Once, some time ago, I was deaf. I had not heard one true sound, much noise, but no truth. So I believed in many things not worth believing in. Then, in a moment of crisis that cracked my heart open, I was given a gift. Though I felt fear and confusion, a gift came to me more powerful than those temporary ailments. That gift was the ability to hear the sound hidden beneath all of life. I heard it, that sound, that sacred sound of the beating heart of universal love. Now I know that belief in unworthy things like fear and doubt is lunacy. Even my loneliness became unconvincing to me. We are all animated by this living heartbeat, part of life that is sustained by it. You and I, the planets, the birds, and the fishes, emerge from the great source because of this beating heart of the universe. It pumps life through our veins. What proof of this is needed? You live. That is the proof. I hear it everywhere now. It has become so loud, louder than any word of fear. It resonates through my soul and eclipses any tremor of anxiety. Wow, that's so beautiful. So yeah, I didn't even, some of the poems I remember, obviously I don't remember all of them, but I did not remember that one, so it's very beautiful. All right, so real quickly, one more thing here with this card, because that was like, was actually the poem. This is to get more into the energy of the cosmic heart and the poem that I just read. This is a sacred ritual that you can do. Okay, so it says, place your hand on your stomach and, place one hand on your stomach and the other over your heart. Focus on your breath flowing gently in and out. When you're ready, say the following aloud. Remy, who loves me unconditionally with all the wild love and unconditional affection of the universal heart, help me now. I trust in my own heart wisdom and in the truth of your love for me. Please help me trust in the flow of life. Let go of my fixed plans and ideas and open up to the genius of love itself. I have to stop right there. That is so the repeating card you had, the Five of Wands, right? Let go of the serious plans and make room for the less serious plans and your support system to come in. That's so beautiful. Beautiful. I can't talk anymore. Okay, let me finish this little part. So yes, please help me trust in the flow of life, let go of my fixed plans and ideas, and open up to the genius of love itself. May I realize that my destiny will unfold with absolute perfection, and may I trust in the signs I am given. May I be able to release any false guidance based in fear, and may I open up instead to genuine guidance and inner knowledge based in love. Under the grace of your perfection, may this be so. Okay, and then it says, feel the warmth of your hands on your body, just breathe, and when you're ready, place your hands in prayer position and bow your head gently to your hands. This is your simple and powerful action that reminds you of this truth. Your head is supposed to bow to and honor your heart, not to try and to control it. Okay, so you have completed your sacred ritual with this card. All right. That is very beautiful. I hope you guys agree. And I hope you got something out of this reading for yourself. So with that being said, I will let you guys go, and I'm going to go feed my cat and beat my dogs. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'll beat them a little bit, but with love. So anyway, thank you guys so much as always for your views, for your shares, for your patience, all that. And also for your subscriptions. If you haven't already subscribed, it is free and it is a great way to support the channel. So if you want to do that and you haven't yet, all you have to do is click on the bell icon on the bottom right and make sure it's blue and it's active, and it'll just notify you when I put out new readings. What else? Yes, if you want a picture, one photo of all the cards here that I've pulled today, just go in the description box below and follow the instructions there on how to get it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So you guys take care and take a break, and then hopefully we'll be back with Cancer in a little while. All right, I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.